YouTube. Why y'all looking at me like that? Why y'all looking at me like that? Oh, y'all think because I got a little haircut that I took the headband off because of that. Y'all think because I got a little cut, I'm out here trying to show out. You goddamn right. We got Christmas Eve, YouTube. Christmas Eve, YouTube. My bad. I'm so impolite. YouTube, good morning, good morning, good morning. If it's your first time rocking with the boy, I be the King, his PR, 33, that be me, King Spree, and you locked in with one of the realest. Reporting live. Beautiful day here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Reporting live from Sin City. The weather about 54 degrees outside. There's a bunch of clouds in the sky. Praise to the Most High. We got Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve. Going to a little Usher concert tonight. In case you give a fuck. I wanted to get into a topic real quick that I was thinking about, and it was prompted by a conversation I had with one of my king/brothers. Are black parents jealous of their kids? Let's get into it. Before we do that, go ahead and leave me a like on the video, please. Every little like helps. Like the video. I can't stress it enough. Like the video. I can't control whether you see it and view it because I don't know how to work the algorithms yet. But like the video, please. Subscribe to the boy channel. And when you subscribe, make sure that you go ahead and put that notification bell on. That means click it and make sure the bell is dark. That'll let YouTube and myself know that you want to rock with the boy each and every time I come on here talking my talk. You dig? So, are black parents jealous of their kids? I know when you say it out loud, it sounds crazy. It sounds crazy. Why the hell would a parent be jealous of their seed? Somebody that they birthed, somebody they raised, instilled principles in. And I can hear my mom's voice now. Why the fuck would I be jealous of you? Of course, we love our parents. That's not to slight them, but let's get into that little topic. So let's call a spade a spade. There is something there with the black parent, and it might be other cultures too, but the black parent in particular and their children. There's this weird thing of like, I'm superior to you. Not I'm your dad, I'm your mom, I should be respected as such. I'm superior to you. And unfortunately, that goes back to slavery times, literally. And that's not to blame anything or anybody, but that's a fact. It goes back to slavery times where that was what was going on. Where the white man was superior. Or they thought they were, I should say that, sorry. And because of that, that got instilled into our mind that the person that raised you, gave you food and clothing, gave you a place to stay. I do air quotes while saying that. They are superior. Not just are you grateful to have them in your life, they're superior to you. That goes back to that time frame. I know for me growing up, I grew up in a middle class neighborhood. Some would look at it as a high middle class neighborhood. And I know for a fact that my parents did everything as far as food on the table, buying a home. Within their means, they did everything they could to help me survive. That don't mean they did everything they could to help me persevere, to help me succeed, to help, well, persevere is survive, but help me get to the next level. Now, some would say, well, they put food on the table. They let your fat ass eat. They let you sit there rent-free. We'll get into that in a second. They put a roof over your head. Yeah, but isn't that what you're supposed to do to your children? Especially when they're living with you. Now, once again, I don't blame my parents. I love my parents. Rest in peace to my dad. And I love my mother. Some of the lessons I learned were needed. And here I am as a grown man, and I'm very appreciative of those lessons. Some of the lessons I did not need to know. And if they took a different approach, it would have expedited the the situation. So what am I talking about? Let's talk about a couple of things that black parents do, or minority parents do, that really hinder their kids that the white counterparts are not doing. And I know when I speak on this platform and I say things like white, we're not racist over here. We don't have any hatred towards the other side. We got to start speaking from our point of view as black people. We're not angry because we say the truth. You heard? So what am I talking about when I say things they didn't do that set us back? Well, let's take the whole concept of rent as a child, rent as an 18-year-old person, 17, 16. I was paying some form of payment as early as 14. Not consistent, so I won't lie. I wasn't consistent. 14, I got a job bagging groceries. I didn't want to work anymore. They made me still work, and I had to pay like a water bill or something. Then eventually that turned to when I turned 17 and graduated high school, it was, all right, well, now you need an actual job and you need to pay rent. And if I was short, they would let me be short, or they'll let me owe them, but rent was still due. It wasn't a lot, $200 at first, $200 turned to $400 as I got older, but it was still something. Now, here's the problem with the rent thing. A lot of the other cultures are not doing that. They're not charging their kids rent. It's hard enough as a black boy, a black man, trying to figure this whole thing out. It's hard enough for us with the struggles we have embedded. Whether it's systemic racism, whether it's outright overt racism, whether it's lack of opportunities because of said racism. And sometimes just being a man puts you in situations where you have lack of opportunities depending on where you live. So as a result, there's some embedded conflicts we already deal with day to day. Not to mention our own peers, trying to navigate with our own peers, trying to figure this whole thing out. And there's fights, there's jealousy, there's envy, there's girl problems. Oh, let's not even throw girl problems into the mix. A young black man is dealing with it all. So are young black women. So are a lot of people, but especially a young black man. And as a result, putting rent added to that when we're already making pennies, it's just it holds us back. It holds us back. So that's one thing they do that really hinders us, applying and instilling rent when they know that we can't really afford to live anywhere else. That's why we live with them. And then to expect a payment of $200, $300, $400 a month, that $200, $300, $400 a month is 40-50% of our income a lot of times after taxes. A lot of times we're making $8, $9, $10, $11 an hour. Then we're trying to go to school. We're trying to pay for a car. We need a car to go get around. And I rode a bike everywhere I went, so trust me, I know the struggle. We got to pay for, a lot of times, food. Yeah, they buy food, but as you get older, a lot of my people know it becomes less and less food. They start just putting enough food in the refrigerator for themselves. My mom used to buy her own refrigerator and put it in her room. You dig what I'm saying? So there's already things embedded that are going to kind of hold us back. To have that rent be another one it's not a good look for us. Now let's talk about the whole thing about because I said so. As a youngster, you growing up, your mom or dad tell you to do something, you not clearly understanding why that needs to be done. They take it as disrespect. Even today, to this day, if I speak to my mom and I bring up a topic that she's not familiar with and I try to educate, she'll take it as disrespect. And I'm like, Mom, I'm not disrespecting you, but why can't we ask why? Why can't you tell me and explain to me how it's done? And if you don't know, why not just say you don't know? And that's the problem we have in the black community. We don't know a lot of stuff, and we try to just because we're the older person, the OG, or the person that's above us, we say, well, don't ask me that. Don't worry about my situation. And it's like, but you could have been educating us this whole time. It is your job to do that. When I become a grown man, you've done raising me. But you, from infancy to 18, 19, 20, 21, I needed you. I needed that. Not just food on the table. What about the mental food? What about the brain food? Not just go to school. Not just read the book, do your homework. What about you educating me on what's really important? Because the school ain't going to raise your kids for you. Mama, Papa, The school ain't gonna raise your kid for you. I promise you that. So that's two, instilling this whole thing of like, well, don't ask me a question because I said so. Now, mind you, that's not to be confused with disrespect. If you are being disrespected truly, then yeah, you set ground rules down, and those kids need to abide by that. You are the provider. You are their mother or father. But asking a question is not disrespect. It really isn't. Now let's talk about, from another standpoint, kicking your kids out at 18, especially black men, and expecting them to know how the world works by that time. I remember one time, I'll tell a quick story. I've always hated fixing things. Ironically, my dad, that's all he does. He's a tinkerer. He can fix anything, or at the time, he could fix anything. He could fix and build anything. I didn't like doing that at all. I was more of a creative mindset, and I would use my mental more than I would use my physical. Or at least I thought I was, and I think I do now to this day. And one time, the vacuum was broken. There's many times something was broken, but one time the vacuum was broken. And I told this is before the internet. Like, the internet existed, but it wasn't as easily accessible as it is on my phone now. YouTube wasn't around at this time. And it broke, and my mom told me to fix it. And there always was a project for me to do. There always was a project I need to complete by the time Dad gets home. And my mom wanted me to fix it, and I tinkered with it. I don't know what the fuck I was doing. Long story short, it did not get fixed. I told her I couldn't fix it. She was very upset. And she told me verbatim, I said, Mom, how am I supposed to fix this when I don't know I don't know anything about vacuums or any type of handiwork like that? And she said, because you're a man. That's why. Figure it out. Literally, grab your dick and figure it out. I was like, what? What does that even mean? Huh? Grab my dick and figure it out. I understand what you're trying to say, that as a man, I should take the responsibility upon myself to have I should be prideful enough to want to figure it out. But the reality is that not everybody's going to be good at everything. That's not my thing. Fixing vacuums, fixing little things here or there, fixing cars. That's not my thing. But they make you feel bad for not knowing how to do certain things. And it should not be that way. It should not be that way. So now in a situation like that, you find yourself you start to put your energy on learning how to fix the vacuum. You start to put your energy on learning how to do this little stuff, and you should have been putting your energy towards a trade, the trade that you desire, whatever you wanted to do for a living. You understand what I'm saying? So anyway, little things like that. And as you grow up, you start to realize, like, on the lowest of keys, I think a lot of black parents, they want you to do well, but they don't want you to do better than them. And I know that sounds fucking crazy. Trust me. I don't think my mom falls in that category. But there are sometimes I wonder, do black parents want you to do good, but not better than them? Because they take it as, if you do better than them, then you're superior to them. And how can you be superior to them when they've instilled in you your whole life that they're superior to you? It is a crab in the barrel mentality, unfortunately. And that goes back to everything about, like, I was talking to my homeboy, and why didn't our parents teach us about the home buying process? They knew about it. They did it. Even if they didn't fully understand what they did and what they signed up for, they knew eventually what it was. Why didn't they teach us about that? Why didn't they teach us about financial literacy? Some would say, oh, well, they didn't know themselves. That's true. But you knew that banking and finances would be a thing. Why was it never mentioned? Now, to give my mom credit, she spoke about me opening a Roth IRA back when I was 16, 17, 18 years old. And I never did it. But on the flip side, Mom, why didn't you open a Roth IRA? Why didn't you put a couple dollars in there? Why didn't you make me give you $100? Why didn't you take that rent money I gave you and put that in the Roth IRA for me? I'm not blaming nobody. But I'm speaking facts. At a time, we got to a point within our household where there was hardship. My dad passed, that income stopped coming in, and for whatever reason, he didn't have a life insurance situation. Some loophole the insurance had. As a result, my mom had to take that burden. You mix that with, during the 2006 and 7 phases, some kind of refinance thing that went on that really put her in a hole bad. And she never spoke about it. She would just only say that she was struggling. Never educated us on the importance of, she would say, oh, she needs this money, and really badger us about $200, $300, $400, whatever it was. We didn't know what she was going through. We didn't know the house was damn near about to get sold for foreclosed on. We didn't know the situation at hand. I'm thinking, you got it. You making $50 an hour, $40 an hour, whatever it was at the time. I'm thinking, you got it. I didn't know the severity of what was going on, but also you didn't take the time to educate. Black parents, for some reason, they think finances is taboo. A lot of times they think talking about sex is taboo, which is why a lot of times we got pregnant girls at 13, 14 years old. We got guys having 4 or 5 kids by the time they're 24, 25 years old, and nobody's really educating them on the pros and the cons of moving like that. They're not. I never had nobody sit me down and speak about sex. My first question I had about a girl was not, what is a girl? What's the vagina? What to do with it? My first question I had about a girl to my dad actually was when I was going through heartbreak. And then of course they give you the generic the generic conversation where they're like, you gotta just kind of like be nice, and But he did tell me never be a sucker. He did say that, but be nice and da 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 da. And that don't equate to nothing. So the lack of education really sets us back, not just financially, but also with emotionally. I grew up in a household that was very volatile. I'm talking about a lot of anger. And the anger usually was towards me, if I'm being honest. And it's a big reason why I have a lot of anger sometimes. And respect for me is a huge thing. Huge. I've gotten fights over it. I've been in arguments over it. Respect is huge to me. I'm only at 35, I'm only getting to the stage now where I even recognize that is a problem. That I am in control of my emotional intelligence. I am in control of how I maneuver through the world, whether with my girlfriend, with my coworkers, with my peers, with my homeboys. I got homeboys right now, guys that I consider real close friends, that I don't know why, it always seems like it's like tension. It always seems like it's like a palpable tension that you can fight at any given time. And it's like, King, I don't have any problem with you, but I'm also not gonna let you disrespect me. And that goes back to lack of emotional intelligence on both of our parts. You dig? Even feeling comfortable enough to go to our parents with the problem. I think I had a conversation with my girl about something, and she was like, oh, somebody telling my mom something. And I was like, I'm not telling her nothing. What's she gonna do? There's not a problem I have right now my mom's gonna be able to help me with. Even if she could, I wouldn't know. I didn't feel comfortable enough back then to do it, and I'm damn sure I don't feel comfortable now doing it. Now that I'm older, I feel like I should be able to figure it out. That all goes back to our parents not putting us in a situation where they educated us. Like, listen, you can come talk to me about this. If I'm having a bad time at school and it ain't making sense to me, you don't grab the belt and say, what's 2 + 2? No. Literally educate me. But once again, that goes back to slavery times. So back to the original premise, are black parents jealous of their kids? I think in a lot of cases, yes. I think they feel that we have opportunities that they didn't have based on technology, based on just how the world works today. They think we have it easier. Every generation prior to us thinks we have it easier. Little do they know we have it a lot harder now. You can't just go to the mail room, work 20 years, 30 years, get a pension anymore. Those jobs are extinct. They even cutting out 401ks, let alone a pension. In today's community, man, you think 50 grand gonna get you far? Our parents used to make 50, 60 grand. The household income right now combined is 60 grand. You think that's gonna get you far? I put an Instagram post up today that said, we are qualified by our gross, but we're living day to day by our net. That's a fact. 100 grand ain't what 100 grand used to be. And our parents didn't even make 100 grand, nowhere near, in most cases. They are telling us you need to go out there and figure it out. Meanwhile, white people, certain Latinas, certain different other cultures, they're not doing that. They don't have this thing of you need to figure it out. They're a community. They're raising a child as a village, for real. I'm not saying you should be buying your kid a Benz while you're riding a bike. No. But that car is gonna help out a lot, man. That down payment's gonna help out a lot. That taking the rent money and putting it towards the Roth IRA for them is gonna help out a lot. We're not in competition. But a lot of parents see it like that. I be talking to some homeboys and I be like, yo, when you get to a certain age, your dad don't see you as their son no more. They see you as another dude walking around. Another dude walking around the house. Another dude eating the food. Another dude that ain't contributing as much as they should, if at all, in their view. They don't view you as a son anymore. They view their daughter as always a daughter. But the young black man starts getting viewed as a stranger in his own home. It's something that's been going on for generations. It will continue to go on, unfortunately. Hopefully we can try to break the mold, but yes, a lot of black parents are jealous of their kids. A lot. I'm not saying this applies to my mother, but I can see where somebody might say that. And as kids, and as, well, we're not kids anymore, but as sons and daughters and others, we need to understand how to have a relationship with our parents. It ain't all on them either. Yeah, whatever they did when we were young. You're right, they didn't do the right things. But now we're older. And it's up to us to take the information that we now know and apply it to them, because it is going to come right back. Eventually, we're going to be taking care of them. Now, educating them is going to be hard because they're knuckleheaded, and they take it as disrespect when you do that. But as far as everything else, we got to be in their corner as well and try our best and educate ourselves so that we can go ahead and educate them on various topics, various things that are going on in the world. Like, there's so much that the millennials know that the generation before them and the baby boomers don't know. And there's so much that generation is an X or Z or whatever knows that I don't know. And so on down the line. Anyway, it was a longer video. I got to get to work. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. We got some slow traction. I ain't gonna lie. I've been stuck on 65 subscribers for about 2, maybe 3 weeks. I done everything. I done done everything, man. But I'm gonna keep putting them out. At least people that I do know watch it, and we'll go from there. Thank y'all for y'all support. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Please share the video with other people. And please leave comments. Do y'all agree in the comment section? Y'all agree that black parents in particular, I feel like they're jealous of their kids? And I know it sounds crazy, and I know I might even get some dislikes because of it, but listen to the reasoning, man. Listen to the reasoning. Anyway, this has been a message brought to you by the good people over here at Spree and T. And all this was just advice. I don't really know what I'm talking about, to be honest. All right.